fans of MMA on YouTube. Hey, um, first off, I'm gonna say this isn't one of those videos where I'm trying to start a quarrel or anything. I'm simply voicing my opinion on a subject right now. If your opinion differs and you want to post something, make it non-hostile because this is by no means a hostile opinion. I'd love to talk about it with anyone who wants to talk about it. And secondly, I'm not pretending to know everything about mixed martial arts because I don't. No one knows everything about it. But basically, this video, I was just recently on SureDog.com. I've been away from my computer for a while, and find out that Babalu has been released. Renato Babalu, Sobral has been released from the UFC for his choke on David Heath. This is bullshit. If you want my honest opinion, that is harsh and, not to sound like a baby or anything, but totally unfair. That is unjust punishment for something that was made out to be something terrible. Like, it was the most fucking disgraceful thing to ever happen in the UFC. I've seen chokes in any type of MMA, UFC included, UFC Pride, K1. I've seen chokes as submission holds held on for way longer than that after a person taps out. Like, I'm just absolutely not even stunned, but just right pissed off that, like, people on forums make it sound like a 5 minute, even 10 seconds that Babalu held the choke on after David Heath topped out. Fact is, yeah, in MMA, you're going to have a lot of shit talking, and you're going to see odds with other people. And from my understanding, David Heath wore a t-shirt with Babalu's mugshot on it. Now, ask yourself if that was you, because it's something, obviously, that Babalu is embarrassed of. But I would have held the choke on for much longer than Babalu did for something disrespectful like that. You make the bed, you gotta lie in it. And David Heath learned. But for the UFC to to release, one of their better fighters at 205 is just fucking bullshit. And excuse my language, and you can tell I'm a little angry about it, but, like, Matt Hughes, Frank Trigg. Those rear naked chokes were held for a little while, probably about the same amount of time after Frank tapped out. Maybe not quite, but pretty close. And I think Matt Hughes, I'm not sure, like, this was a while ago, but I think Matt Hughes said at one time in a pre-fight interview, when you get the choke, even after he taps, you hold on for a little while just to let him know that, you got it. And, David Heath talked shit. Babalu punished him for it. Like, I don't know what the hell the UFC, describes as, like, good conduct, but, like I said, they're making that out to be, like, the most fucking disrespectful thing ever to happen in the UFC. So he held on for a little while longer. Big fucking deal. It wasn't just the choke that rendered David Heath unconscious. See how much blood was running from his head? That probably had a lot to do with it. I just, if any of you MMA fans are offended by my language, I'm sorry. But I just think that this situation was blown completely out of proportion. Once again, I'm not trying to start any quarrels for people who are for the release of Babalu. If you'd like to response, just post a comment or send me a message, video response, I will approve. I love talking MMA. I love the sport of MMA, and no matter what it is, UFC, Pride, K1, Shuto, anything, Shuto, sorry, is just, stuff like that should, not be, it's an overreaction, I think, and I just think that, a $25,000 fine is one thing, but to actually, be released from the UFC for it, one or the other at the very least. But it's just, I think it's wrong, and it could even ruin some possible good fights. Like, on many MMA forums, I've seen people who want to see Shogun Babalu too. just because Shogun's really only loss, like, well, of course he lost to Mark Coleman due to an injury, broken arm, but Babalu tapped out Shogun. I'm sure Shogun would love to get his rebuttal for that, but nope. Babalu's released, and Babalu looked amazing in that fight. He's coming back, and I think the UFC made a big mistake, and I just think it was an unjust punishment. So give me your thoughts. Like I said, not trying to start a fight, no quarrels. Sorry if any of you were offended by my language. I'm just a little steamed right now. So just give me your thoughts, and if you're for the opinion, I'll talk about it. If you're against my opinion, talk about it. Talk MMA. I'm down for it. I just don't like to see this kind of, I don't want to call it mistreatment. I don't know the word for it. I just don't. Like I said, I just think it was an unjust punishment, and it definitely, the situation is not as severe as people think it is. That's all. It was blown completely out of proportion, and I just hope that there's other people out there who feel the same as I do and support Babalu. So next time you guys will be seeing me is probably for the UFC 75 predictions. So take care, have fun, and enjoy MMA.